guys, it's Haley and welcome back to another bookish video. So today I'm going to be doing my June wrap-up. It is currently the 28th, so I have a couple more days, but I'm kind of zapped from Romance-a-thon. So if I finish anything, I'm pretty sure it's going to be what I'm currently reading, and I don't think I'll finish anything else. So yeah, this is going to be pretty comprehensive. There's just one book that I've read in June that I'm not done with. But that being said, let's go ahead and get into some stats. So I read 17 books in June total. I read 3 by a male author and 14 by a female author. As we know, I tend to mostly read books by female authors. For genre, I read 2 horror, 4 romance, 3 contemporary, 1 historical fiction, kind of, 5 thrillers, and 2 nonfiction. So I had a wide range of genres this month. It's crazy. Usually I'm like, I read 10 thrillers and 2 contemporaries. But I had a lot of variety this month, and yeah, maybe that's why I had also a lot of variety in my ratings. Who knows? I actually had one 1-star rating because I did DNF it, and I don't think I'll ever go back to it. We'll get to it when I talk about it. I had 1 2-star, 3 3-stars, 6 4-stars, and 5 5-star reads. Oh my goodness, that's so great. And then I also had the one that I'm still reading right now, which I haven't rated yet because I have not finished it. So I'll go ahead and start out with that book. It is Night Swim by Megan Golden, and I don't have a physical copy to show you because I'm reading it as an e-arc that was sent to me. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I like the atmosphere of it. Basically, it's about a podcast producer, and she's going to cover a rape trial for her podcast. So she goes and stays in this like little seaside town where the crime was committed, and there's a girl there who her sister was murdered 25 years ago. The case was never solved, and she starts reaching out to the podcast producer to try to get her to cover her sister's murder as well while she's in town. So I'm about 100 and something pages in, and I'm really liking it a lot. Megan Golden's other book, Escape Room, wasn't the best for me. I think I rated it a 3. It was pretty middle of the road, so maybe this one will be better. I'm super excited to keep on reading it. I know I will finish it before the end of June, so I have high hopes. But let's get into the other 16 books that I read during this month. I have a huge stack over here of all of them, and I'm just gonna grab off the top, so this is not gonna be in order whatsoever. The first book that I have here is The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. This is a nonfiction book about fear and anxiety and how it can be used to help you, how it's like an adaptive mechanism that humans need. So you shouldn't be afraid of your fear, and these are the ways that you can embrace it and use your inner strength to kind of conquer some of the fear that anyone feels, but particularly I picked this up because, you know, being a woman, it's a little bit more scary to navigate life. And yeah, I think this had some really interesting insight, and also just different stories about this man and the different celebrities and figures that he's had to protect from crazy people. So yeah, this was interesting. I gave it 3 stars because I did skim a few chapters, and I also have a reading vlog. This is actually in my cards pick my TBR video. A deck of cards chose for me to read this and 3 other books this month, and that is going to be up on July 7th. So subscribe for that video if you haven't. It was really fun and really interesting. Another book that the cards chose for me is The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. So I actually flew through this in a day, just laying out by the pool, and I really enjoyed it. It's a really wholesome, endearing contemporary about this woman who is a bookish lady, and she just wants to sit at home with her cat and read books, and she doesn't really need anything else. But then she discovers that her father, who she never knew, has passed away and left her not only inheritance, but a huge family that she didn't know was there. So it's about her navigating kind of discovering these relationships and if they're worth having, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Let me just go ahead and do the other 2 books that are in that video. So if you're interested in watching that, I'll put it right up here and you can go ahead and click over once it is uploaded. The other 2 books that I read that the cards chose for me to read were Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, which I am absolutely obsessed with and I gave 5 stars, and The Alienist by Caleb Carr, which unfortunately I did end up DNFing. I just can't get into historical fiction, guys. I'm sorry. Even though it's a mystery thriller, I could not get into it. Next, I will go through the books that I read for Romanceathon. I did do a reading vlog and you can watch it right here. So I'm not going to go too deep into my thoughts of these books. I'm just going to let you know my ratings. So I read The 2 Lives of Lydia Bird, which I don't think this is a romance. I think it's more of a contemporary. Oops. Josie Silver wrote A One Day in December, which is a romance, so I just assumed that this would be as well. Wasn't, and maybe that kind of altered my expectations, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. I read Beach Read for Romanceathon, adorable, perfect, 5 stars. I also read If I Never Met You, which was the buddy read for Romanceathon. I gave it 4 stars. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne I also read for Romanceathon, and I gave this book 5 stars. This is my new favorite romance. I'm obsessed with this book. Lastly, for Romanceathon, I read The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. I've never read this author duo before, and I gave this book 2 stars. I really did not enjoy it at all, and I'm still willing to give them another chance, but this was not a great start for me. Now I will get into the other books that I just read for me for June. So first up, I read So Sexy So Soon, The New Sexualized Childhood and What Parents Can Do to Protect Their Children. So I actually read this for school, but I ended up enjoying parts of it. I would say it's definitely not current, I'll put it that way. But it does make some interesting points about kind of the premature adolescent rebellion and the maturation of young girls and boys, and how we are raised to disrespect the other gender in the case of boys and disrespect ourselves in the case of girls. So this was a really interesting read. It was published in the early 2000s, so like I said, it's a little bit out of date. I gave it 3 stars, but you know, give a good little presentation on it for my class, so whatever. The first book that I actually read during the month of June was Happy and You Know It by Lauren Hankin, and I really enjoyed this. It was like a chick litty kind of contemporary about a woman who is kind of down on her luck. She wants to be a singer, and she was previously in a band that got really successful after they kicked her out. So she's trying to kind of bounce back, and she's doing that by singing for a group of women and their babies, kind of like the entertainment for the playgroup. And there's some mysteries surrounding her and women in the playgroup, and drama ensues, and I gave it 4 stars. It was pretty enjoyable. Next, I read Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This got 5 stars from me. It's about a haunted inherited house, and this woman goes back to see, you know, what is really going on there. Is it really haunted? Because her dad actually wrote a book about the horrors and the hauntings that went on, and she just doesn't believe it. So she goes back to see and investigate, and this one takes you on a ride. I love Riley Sager. Next up, I read Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. This one was really good. I gave it 4, bordering on 4.5 stars. It's a mystery surrounding the disappearance of a child, and it was pretty gripping. I did not see the ending coming at all, so I highly recommend this for a fast-paced thriller. Next up, I read Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney and Someone We Know by Sherry Lapina. I read both of these for a video where I was predicting the end of the thriller and like the twists while I was reading. I will put the reading vlog right up here. I gave both of these books 4 stars. Really enjoyed them, particularly this one. It caught me way off guard. And spoiler alert, for this one, my prediction was actually correct, which blew my mind. So apparently I've been reading a little too many thrillers, who's surprised, and I was able to accurately predict the ending of this one pretty early on, but it was still a pretty enjoyable read. Nothing groundbreaking, not a literary masterpiece, but super fun. The last book that I read in June is Bunny by Mona Awad. I loved this book. It is so weird, so trippy, and I gave it 5 stars. Half the time, did I know exactly what was happening? No. But did I really enjoy the ride it was taking me on? Yes. This is one that you kind of have to sit back and just accept you're not going to completely get it and enjoy the ride, and that's when I really, really started to enjoy it. It's about a cult of women who sacrifice, can you guess? Bunnies. And this other girl gets caught up with them and things happen, and is anything real? Who knows? But really, really enjoyed that one. Really, I feel like I had a really great diverse reading month, and I'm super looking forward to July. If you have not seen my July TBR video, I will go ahead and put it right here. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you being here. If you want to give a like to this video, if you liked it, I would love that as well. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. At the time of filming this, I am almost at 100 subscribers, so I would love if you would subscribe. And that is all I have for you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.